Hello everyone and welcome back. This is Denise, and this month I have lots of fun goodies to share with you. A few different things, like this fabric here that's not normally what I would have in my art hauls, but there are enough fiber artists out there that I think that this find will get them really excited. And then of course I got my Sketchbox in yesterday, and I got my Stencil Girl Club stencils in yesterday, and I got a little fun package from Joggles. So I'm going to tell you about all the fun stuff that I've got here on my table. So first thing I've got is I had a second book workshop come out this month, From Scrap to Treasure, creating unique art journals. And in this book workshop we're building on the very first book workshop I did, which was the artisanal journals, where we were building on our inspiration of the big art journals with different art papers. And I was inspired to do that because after I finished the artisanal journals one and I had the great big journal with the watercolor paper and the burlap and all that stuff in it, I thought, you know, I've got all these handmade papers, and wouldn't they be beautiful in some of our, you know, layouts that we create in these books? And so that's what I did. I created a book with different paper pieces in it. And they're all, each section is different, and there's lots of fun and different papers out there that you can get and experiment with. And I just loved how these really made the books special. And then I got so excited about this one that I made for myself that I was like, okay, let's go ahead and make the next book workshop, From Scrap to Treasure, and I will make that book, which is, if you took the first workshop, it's a very similar book with just different papers and such to inspire you and to just see, you know, how can you push that initial idea into something even better. And for me, that was really getting creative with the papers and things that we add to our pieces. And then not only that, I incorporated one of my very favorite pieces of art in one of these pages, which is a really fun idea if you want to paint a bunch of papers and create your art pieces and then put the book together after the fact. This is kind of the way you can do that, and how beautiful that is. And you know, when I did this piece, it was one of my very favorite pieces that we've painted here on the YouTube channel, and somebody made the comment like, well, do you consider that finished? And I'm like, yes, I do actually. I love it. And then, you know, at the same time, maybe not. Maybe I'll do something else with it. Maybe I'll come back later and add to it. Maybe I'll frame it. Who knows what I'll do with it? And so then I pulled it out and I'm like, this is what I'll do with that. And then both sides of that painting are a page in my book that I've already painted, and I've flanked it with this beautiful paper, which I did a YouTube video on this workshop introducing it a couple weeks ago, and we stenciled on this lovely handmade paper, and it was amazing. So now I feel like this is gonna get a paint treatment at some point when I get to painting on these pages and I get to this page. So that's super fun. In the news From Scrap to Treasure journals, we're making one of the big books, and then we will make a book out of an old book cover. And I particularly love these because you can find lots of beautiful books and such at the thrift stores and the antique stores. And if you don't want to tear a book up, maybe you can get a book that's already mostly tore up and it's falling apart to do something like this in. But I've put like a beautiful pocket on the front where you can then, you know, put some lovely little pieces of art or something tucked into the front, and then the inside is things that you can paint. And we're actually using the book cover as our journal. So I love that. Pretty ribbon to tie it off. And then I also show you in this new book workshop how to create something with some vintage papers using one of those antique portfolios that had an old picture in it. This one was a little bit bigger, and I used a grommet to hold my ribbon. And then this actually has things like a fun pocket in it where we can tuck a piece of art, and it's got some of the papers that get kind of my runoff of things. A lot of people say, oh, you could put that, you know, on a tissue paper or something and get the stick stencil run off, and I don't think a lot of the things I do on camera really relate to what I do off camera sometimes. And I do a lot of those things, and my table space is limited, and the things that you might see while I'm filming, and you're thinking I'm throwing all that stuff away or not using that in a way that maybe you would, but I do some of that, and I think this is a really beautiful way to incorporate that into a book along with some other fun elements. And so I just thought that would be fun to put those together in an art journal that you can then paint and create in. And then on the back cover, I've got a yummy little color palette page. Thought that was fun though. So that's our third project in that From Scrap to Treasure book workshop. And I thought you would love to see what we do in that class since it just came out. And then the third book workshop will be coming very soon. And then there's also a fourth one. I was so book inspired that I was like, I'm going to ride this wave until I'm done. In the third book workshop and the fourth book workshop are fabric oriented, like they have fabric covers and stuff like that. The fourth workshop, I actually end up I found a beautiful fabric source, and if you know, and I'm showing it to you now because this lady's shop deserves to have people come check it out and maybe grab these lovely bundles. So this is from a shop called 1924 Linens and More, and it's an Etsy shop. And when you go to her Etsy store, she curates the very coolest collections of vintage linens and fabrics together, so that if you don't have a big fabric stash, which I've sewn on and off throughout the years, and I have had stashes and then got rid of them or used them or whatever and not replenished them. And so she curates antique laces, which I particularly love because they're perfect for a journal or something. And if you're, buy a piece of antique lace and you're hesitant to cut it up, she's already done that for you. I love that. Same thing with like vintage linens and fabrics. I'm absolutely in love with this piece of velvet. And I just thought I would show you what these different stashes have in it. And this is perfect for junk journaling, art journaling, making art journal covers. And I wanted to share her shop with you to get some fun fabrics to add to your fabric stash in case you're like, well, I don't have any fabric and I don't know where to get fabric, and I don't want to go to the fabric store and buy, half a yard of every fabric I might like, because then that gets very expensive. Whereas these bundles ran, $16, $17, and they had like a really large collection of coordinating pieces that were all vastly different. And so that was, and they're all roughly like 7 to 8 inches square, so that's a nice size. And these bundles I purchased for my own fabric stash to have when I create some fabric books that we have coming up in the upcoming book workshops. One will come out just after the 4th of July holiday, and then the next one will be in August. And this is the most economical and creative way to get lovely bundles of fabrics that you may not even ever see in your lifetime, that because she's collecting and curating vintage antique things. And sometimes and that's what people do and that's what they look for, they really get super creative and come up with beautiful things like this that maybe the rest of us just wouldn't have access to. And so I got lots of little colorways, and now I have a nice giant stash of fabrics without having giant bolts of fabric worth of stuff. And so this was like a pink and green and blue bundle, and this one is like a green and red bundle with lots of yummy pieces in here. And what most of these are, or they look like to me, is like vintage tablecloths and vintage pillows and scraps. And I love these where it's vintage pieces of lace because my grandmother tatted and she made lace, and I've got a few of her tatted pieces because this is a piece of tatting right here. And I'm hesitant to use my grandmother's tatting because it was my grandmother's and she made that with her own hands, and I don't want to make it and put it on something that in the end I might love or might not love, or might give away or might sell or whatever, and I don't want that to go away. So buying little bundles that include lovely little bits like that. Now I feel like I can use this because my grandmother didn't make it, but it kind of symbolizes what my grandmother did do, and I love that. So that's particularly pretty. And then, and she's always updating her shop. Look how beautiful this bundle is. This is gorgeous. Some of these I haven't opened a couple of these because I wanted to show you like the full bundles, but look at that piece of velvet. Some of these too, I think she said that she hand dyes them, so she'll coordinate a collection with some hand dyed stuff. Look at that with the sequins on it. I love that. I've used a piece that looks like this on one of the books coming up in the book workshop because it was so amazing. So I feel like she hand dyed some of these pieces to coordinate with her bundles. But you can see like old handkerchiefs with the lace edge. I love that. Another beautiful piece of lace. Look how amazing that is. So you can see like a piece of burlap, how interesting and varied the vintage linens and lace and fabrics in these bundles could be. Just so many pieces in some of these. And for basically what works out to, you know, $1 a piece of fabric, it's much cheaper than, say, the fabric store when you're having to buy larger quantities. I love things that are thick and textured. So if you're a fiber artist or you are excited about the fabric-oriented covers coming up in the book workshops I've got coming up, this was my treasure find for a little stash of different, interesting, beautiful fabrics without going out and hunting for years to find it. So that's 1924 Linens and More. It's an Etsy shop. And I did ask her and told her that I was making these book workshops and could I share her shop. And she was like, oh my gosh, yes, please do. She'll definitely be making these for a while. So I don't know when you're watching this video, but this is June of 2024. But you could also, if this lady does eventually close her shop, whenever you watch these, if you'll look for junk journal fabric kits or slow stitching fabric kits. I also came across, that's how I found this, was a slow stitching fabric kit keyword. That's what I typed into the search bar. There's lots of people that kind of curate these pretty little bundles for junk journals and things, and so you might search those and see what you can come up with. So I love these so much. So if you have any interest in having little bits of fabric that are beautiful, I recommend that shop. So this here, you know, I love my Mungyo oil pastels so much. And I didn't realize that they made soft pastels, handmade, hand-rolled soft pastels. And so I actually got a set of 30 colors. And I feel like I'm gonna like these like as much as I like my oil pastels. I hope I do, because for 30 colors, I think I paid $38 for this. It was so super reasonable, and they're beautiful. Like when we open this up and take a look at these, look at how beautiful these are. So if you've wanted to experiment with soft pastels, this looks like a beautiful set. And I might even get like a little piece of paper out and just see. Oh yeah. Whoa, look at that. Oh yeah. Okay, this is a good one. All right, I'm gonna love those. That's a good one. So if you've been interested in soft pastels, I came across these and I'm like, wow, what a great price. Mungyo soft pastels. So I'll try to work this into a piece today. Okay, so that was my little extra yummy bits that I got this month. And then let's go ahead, let's look at the Joggles stuff, and then I'll open our packages here. So I actually just pulled this out of the box. I haven't even actually completely opened it and gone through it yet, because I thought I'd save that and do that with y'all. Let's see what we got. Okay, so I bought some Tim Holtz Ideology linen tape, because this is kind of like, you know, a washi tape kind of thing, but it's made of fabric. And I like that because I actually had one of these, and I used these in one of my books somewhere, and I thought, wow, I really love that, and I want some more. So I thought that would be fun to just have in my stash for the fabric-y stuff that I've got. And I love washi tapes, so I bought also this Tim Holtz Ideology design tape. And you know, the thing about these, this is called salvaged. The thing about the Tim Holtz is they put out new products every year and they call them like the same thing, but if you ordered it, something, it looks different. So I thought, well, I'll order this while I see it because it might not be available next year, and even if I order it with the same name, it might look like another set. I thought that was interesting. So I watched one of his lives of stuff he was introducing for the month recently, and they said that. And I'm like, huh, okay. So I got myself some extra washi tape that was really pretty because I like washi tape. I also got some great big bull clips in different shapes. I don't know what I'm going to do with those. And I think in my mind, I thought they were little. The little bitty ones. And when they came, I was like, huh, I don't think that's actually what I was thinking I was ordering, because I'm not sure why I would have ordered great big clips, but I kind of like them because it could be clipping stuff when I'm working with my art stuff. I could clip papers. I don't know. I could definitely use them. Don't think it's what I thought I ordered though. And then I got some little metal tags with little phrases on them. Own your dreams, go see and explore, just one life. I just liked them, these little thought tokens. And so I got some little Tim Holtz ideology thought tokens. Then I also got some wet strength tissue paper because I have in my mind another future Gelli Plate class, and I've not had the wet strength tissue paper, and I want to do larger some things on the Gelli Plate. And so I thought, okay, time to get some of the wet strength tissue paper. It's called Carnival Papers Wet Strength Tissue Paper. It comes in packs of 20, and I got a couple packs, and it's pretty reasonable. I paid, like, it was on sale, and I might have paid $16 a pack. I don't remember, but this will be fun because they're large sheets. They're stronger than like a regular tissue paper, and they're meant to, you know, really be good for working on the Gelli Plate. So I'm pretty excited to be able to experiment with that coming up. Lots of always thinking of the next ideas. And then I had to get some new stencils. So I actually got, you know, I like things with the marks, random marks and things like that. And I got a couple of little bitty ones. These are artist trading card sized stencils, 3" by 4". This one's Itty Bitty Bumpy Ride. This one's Itty Bitty Seeds. ATC Seeds and ATC Bumpy Ride. But I thought, look how pretty these are. So those are definitely going to be good on smaller pieces or just a touch here and there. And I love those. I also got a Ranger Delusions stencil of just some random rectangles in different sizes and shapes because I like the randomness. And so this one's called Shutters Small. Yummy. And then I got some big ones because with the bigger art journals, I'm obsessed with some of these bigger stencils, and I did not ever think that I would love big stencils. And before I started doing that larger art journal, I always was like, oh, I wish that would come smaller. I don't like them this big, blah, blah, blah. But now I'm like, oh my gosh, give me more. So I thought this would be a fun one. And this one is Organic Rings, and I will of course link everything below the video for you. This one here, Ancient Ruins. Look at that. Doesn't that look like an ancient stone wall? Pretty excited about some of these. So that's a good one. This one is kind of like that shutter one that we just saw. So this one's called Railroad Stacks. So like railroad ties, I guess. Love that one. I love that these are closer together instead of spread apart. So I'm gonna really enjoy that. This one is called Dash Dot, and I like that. It's kind of irregular lines. This could be really fun in a piece where we do like one of our totem paintings or a stripe painting. This could be, you know, a set of stripe or something in there. I don't know. I can see some fun stuff with that. This one is Cross Hatch. Again, I like the randomness of the marks. And then this fun one is Along the River. So that too would be fun in, say, like a totem or a stripey one or something where we've got different things going on in the different layers. So I love that one. And then this last one is a flower one because I love big flower stencils. And this one's called Tropical Blossoms. And I loved that. And there's also, if you look on Joggles, on these Elizabeth St. Hilaire stencils, she's also got some new artist stencils. You know, she does the Klimt and the Van Gogh and the stuff like that. I think there's some new Art Nouveau stencils that were really cool looking too. There's just too many good things on Joggles. So, go Joggles. I want them all. And I'm on a budget just like you are, so I limited myself to this is my stash from Joggles right now. But I could order like hundreds of them from Joggles. They have such good stuff, and I love their artist stencils like this. So super fun stencil haul today from Joggles. And looky here, different tissue paper than the last couple orders that I've gotten from them. Very spring and summer like. And I save their tissue papers and stuff. Those are good for like collage stuff or reusing them in a gift or something. And they're so creative with their tissue paper that I do not throw that away. All right, let's see what we got in our Sketchbox and our Stencil Club. Let's open the Stencil Club first. So the Stencil Club is the Stencil Girl Stencil Club. I pay for these myself. They don't give these to me. I just love the option of getting something fun in the mail every month. You know me. I like presents. Look at that. That is super cool, actually. Kind of random marks and stuff. I'm liking that. Okay, super cool. Oh, look at that. Oh, that is kind of wild, isn't it? Now, some of these wild ones like this, I initially think, oh, I don't know if I'm going to use that or whatever, but one of them has turned into like a favorite of mine. So I'm kind of feeling like way more open-minded about some of these than I did before, because look at how cool that is. It's like some kind of flower or something, maybe the top of the flower or something. So these are from June 2024. You can't just find the Stencil Club stencils on the Stencil Girl site. If you're just hunting through the site, you have to go to the Stencil Club page. You have to be a Stencil Club member to buy past months if you see some of these, but they do sell all these past months, and they're by month, so they don't have a name. Somebody said, can you tell us the name of that? And I'm like, it doesn't have a name. It's a 6 of 2024 is the name. And it's got the artist name on it, but the Stencil Club works a little different on their site. So I'll link that below too. But okay, those are super fun. I'm loving my stencil haul this month. Okay, what do we get in Sketchbox? Okay, feeling like maybe a watercolors. All right, let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. All right, let's just pull it out. There we go. Okay, so we got a Windsor and Newton box. Okay, Windsor and Newton pen. Oh yeah, look at that. Let's see. Ooh, it's a pretty gray. Oh yeah, okay, I like that. This is a really nice line pen by Windsor and Newton. You know what I love about 0.3 is the size. What I love about Sketchbox is they work with the vendors. They're super creative in some of the things that they get. And I like to introduce new stuff to us too. Like there's some stuff that they'll bring in that may be available in Europe and it's not available here, like from Curates, and they'll bring that in for us. And I love the things. And sometimes they get stuff that's not new, even in the market yet, and we like get the first look. Okay, so this is Cotman watercolors, Skechers pocket set. Look at that. And it's got a lovely little travel brush. Look how pretty that is. Okay, I love that. That's pretty. That's a pretty little travel brush. So this is I like the Cotman colors, and I have several of the liquid Cotman colors. It's a really nice like student grade paper. This is from the series 1. I think that's what that says. And you've got 2, 4, 6, 12 colors. So I like that. Let's see what it says in our box real quick. This is a mixing set. Features a variety of colors to allow you to mix any hue you can think of. This portable set is perfect for painting on the go, as it includes a mixing palette and a brush. So this is our little mixing palettes up here. And our little brush. So I like that. Look at this watercolor bookmark pad. I just saw, and this is the Hanamule, I just saw an artist on YouTube do their finds from an art show that they had been to, where they were getting to see like what's coming out in the market and stuff. And she got to visit the Mungyo booth, and she actually talked about the bookmark pad. And I thought, well, how fun is that? I didn't realize they did a bookmark pad, and here it is. This is 300 pound GSM cold press paper, so that's 140 pound, and we can make little bookmarks out of that. So that's super fun. What else did we get? We also got a two-sided brush. That's pretty cool. I like a two-sided brush. This has got the round number 4 and the 3/8 inch dagger brush, so that's super fun. And we got some masking fluid, which is, you know, you paint this on your paper, you paint everything, and then you can kind of peel this off the paper, and you end up with clean white paper left. So super fun. Okay, and a couple of stickers. All right, good job Sketchbox. I like the Cotman. So that's going to be super fun to play in. Okay, so I'm kind of feeling like maybe we should paint something today. So let me get myself sorted and I'll be right back. All right, I have put out our little bookmarks from the Mungyo bookmark pad, and I have just squirted my paints here with a little bit of water from my squirt bottle, just to get them activated and get it running pretty good. And I thought what we could do is maybe do some striped pieces and then maybe some work on top of that. And I'm kind of feeling like looking at some of these colors. Ooh, look at that. Looking at some of these colors, and I'm not going to worry about contaminating things. Just seeing like what we can create here, and I'm feeling like a stripe piece, and so kind of like our totem pieces. I hadn't done a totem in a while, and I'm just going to do a little set here because maybe I've got some cards I need to send out, and maybe, you know, I'd have a few gifts to like stick in the card, and so it might be fun to make a couple pretty ones and include them in the cards that I got to send. And so basically what I'm going to do is create some stripes, maybe do some stencil work on top. Let's see what this other brush, nice and tight, little bitty brush here. You know, one secret when you're mixing colors, if you've got some that you're like, oh, I love that color, but it's not really going to go in with my color palette here. If you'll mix some of whatever color you had already been using in your color palette, in this case I was using this pretty green and I wanted this teal in there, but maybe that teal was like too teal and wouldn't really match in with, say, the color palette that I'm kind of creating here. If you'll mix some of that last color in with that color that you're wanting to add, you'll kind of create a more harmonious color palette. And with any of those colors you could do that. You could pick one color as, say, the dominant color, the base color we'll call it, and you could mix that color, say maybe that's the yellow ochre, you could mix that color in with every single color that you're wanting to use and make that way more harmonious. So if I went with this green and added the ochre, I could have a yellow that was more harmonious with the color set than I would have if I had just gone, say, with the ochre or what have you. And so that's a really fun way to make sure that you're harmonizing color palettes and creating something that's going to really be lovely across the board. I should have started off that way. I was just kind of painting and thinking as I was going. But that's the way that you can have a more harmonious palette. Pick a main color, let it be like that ochre, and then, you know, mix that in with some of the other colors as you're going. And And then your colors all seem to match and blend in a way that maybe they weren't doing before if you just used the colors like they were. So maybe even like one of these, this blue here, just kind of mix that in with that palette that you already had going over here. And that'll make that a lot more harmonious. I think that's like a, that might be like a cerulean blue over there that's kind of bright, but maybe I want some blue, but maybe I don't want it to be so vivid that it totally distracts from everything I've already created on here. And a fun way to just work in your colors. Just mix them a little bit with the other colors already going in your palette. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do is let it dry a little bit, and then we'll add some stencils on top, so I'll be right back. Alright, I've just pulled out, look how pretty these have dried. And this color that I mixed right here, and I think that was one where I mixed this blue in with, I don't know, it was something up here, is the most amazing color. Like, that's my favorite bit right there. And I thought what we might could do is use this, which one was this? One was something with the river, Along the River stencil by Joggles, this joggle one. And maybe we could add some texture in on top as some marks. We could also draw with our Posca pens, which I've got handy. But I want to test out some of these. And kind of I've put down a couple of paint colors over here in my Blick matte paints. So I've got the pink deep. I put down a white, put down orange deep, and a sapphire because I like the matte paints. And I'm just using an artist sponge to now just kind of look around here and see what am I going to add. Ooh, let's do the pink right here. And I may get outside the stencil, and I could use a little brush if I wanted, but I think I'm just going to play here for a bit. Because why not? Ooh, let's do this one right here. Might be easier with the brush since I want to be more exact here. Yeah, I like those. Oh, look at that! Oh, these just make me so happy. So happy. Let's put some down here. Way more paint than I actually needed. That's okay. Ooh, yeah, let's do that one right there. Oh, that's super sweet. Okay, what else do I want to do here? I need some orange because I like the orange. Let's see. Maybe right here. Let's do this orange right here because I like it. Do I want to do this? Yeah, let's just do this. I like it when they have a lot of variety, like this stencil has a lot of variety, and I love it. Let's do something right here with this. Maybe, oh yeah, let's do these right here on top of that weirdo greenish color that's kind of like a green gold. Oh yeah. Whoa, look how fun this is. These are super fun. Oh yeah. All right, so I got some blue up here. Let's see what we got here. This might turn out to be like my new favorite stencil. It's so cool. Alright, that's super fun. Kind of wondering, I like this little ATC one. Itty Bitty Seeds. Oh my gosh, why am I gonna make these so hard? That one might not find its way back in the package, I don't know. This might be the only time I know what this one is. Oh, it does say a number on there. Alright, we got the white paint over here. I'm just grabbing some of that white paint. Oh yeah, I like that. Now that I actually want some more of these little ATC stencils, little artist trading cards, because I like bits of stencils in places, and you know, the little bits are just enough to be like perfect. Like the size is just perfect. Now I feel a new shopping trip in my future for Joggles. For these little trading card stencils. I love it. I love it. Alright, so I also got, let's see, fun little Posca markers over here. So maybe we can just do some extra fun contrast here in some of these. Alright, super fun, super fun. Alright, I'm feeling pretty good about this. The only thing I haven't played with, I'm going to move these to the side, is maybe a few soft pastels so that we really get a feel for them. And then yes, I would spray this with a finishing spray if I use the pastels. And I use the Sennelier soft pastel finishing spray when I do that, and that'll lock that color down. It won't be like a permanent color, so if this is a bookmark you're going to give away instead of you know, just enjoy and frame or whatever, then you might not do the pastel. But I want to play and just see like how do we like these. Alright, so I like the color. Ooh, that was super soft, so it did kind of break off on here in a way that I'm going to have to tap this off or something, because that's definitely going to leave a mess where I didn't want it. But look at that color. Let me compare that to like the Sennelier half sticks that I always use just to kind of get a feel. Okay, I will say out of the two, the Sennelier ones, the little Sennelier half sticks, are probably my fave because the Mungyos are very close, but I think out of the two, the Sennelier one might be my super fave. But that doesn't mean that I don't love these, because I actually do love these. And maybe if I get them on the edge, I can get that same, yeah, I can get that pretty much the same. It's a tiny bit harder than the Sennelier one was. I can feel that as I'm putting this on here. So that's kind of an interesting observation, that they are just a smidge harder. They are just as vivid. I mean, that's what I like about pastels. They're basically all pigment with a minimal amount of binder, just enough to hold it together so that you can then do something, you know, really cool with your piece. Alright, that's pretty cool. And then for these, I do keep handy a microfiber cloth to get my paint off my fingers. Let's throw these all down into the water so that I can get to those in a bit. Move this so I don't paint us. I gotta move some of this out of the way. And if you haven't noticed, I got a little extra room on my desk today. We're not as crunched as we normally are, I added a 5-inch shelf, like one of those wall hanging shelves, behind my desk and pulled my desk out from the wall so I could push that shelf back 5 inches. And I got 5 extra inches of workspace here on the depth, which will fit my big books better when I'm doing something with the big books. And let me tell you, it has made all the difference. I feel like I have so much more space and I only gained, 5 inches. Let's peel these and see what we got. Okay, so I am able to pull it without tearing the paper. I do a lot of tape tests with papers because I like to figure out which papers are going to tear when I pull the tape. And it does pull a tiny bit, but it's not enough to be like right next to the art, so that's kind of interesting. And in that case, I would use my heat gun to heat the tape to make sure I could get it all off, which will kind of that'll soften us up for us. And real quick, before I pick this up, I actually just realized to tap that pastel off. I don't blow it. Don't blow the pastel on your table. You'll get it everywhere. You'll contaminate all your future pieces of art. If you use soft pastel on your piece, just get a paper towel and wet it down and tap your piece on the paper towel, and then that powder's there instead of everywhere. Just in case you're wondering what you need to do there. Another thing that I did organization-wise is put a towel rack, a paper towel holder, on the side of my white shelving that sits here that I've shown y'all in the studio tours. So now my paper towels are hanging up on a paper towel rack, so that's off my table. So my goal is to get as many things within hand's reach, but not all sitting on my table. And then the other thing that I did was I have the heat gun over here, and it normally sits here on the side of my table and then it falls off the table. I put a hairdryer holder, just stuck it to the side of my table, and so now it hangs on the side of my table instead of sitting on my table. And that has greatly helped me with all the stuff that I have sitting around that I might need when I'm at my art table or when I'm filming. So I'm always trying to get even more organized and efficient. Oh, look how pretty these are. Oh my goodness. Okay. These are delightful, and I will hit them with the pastel spray since I did put some little pastels on there. But that's a super fun set. I like how much pigment the Cotman watercolors had in it, and I like how pretty and delightful those colors are when we were mixing and playing, painting our stripes. Hope you had fun checking out my art haul this month. I always try to bring you a few interesting things that maybe you wouldn't see somewhere else. I try to bring you things that are good value sometimes. Like these are great value for what you get with the handmade artist rolled pastels. So if you've wanted some soft pastels and you thought, gosh, those are expensive, they're out of my range, this is an awesome set by Mungyo. Yay for the Sketchbox this month, because this is a really lovely set of mixing colors, and I got some good stuff out of there. I like how much pigment the Cotmans have in it, and super fun with the watercolor bookmark pad. I like that. These are super fun. Definitely check out the Scrap to Treasures book workshop if you're interested in painting in your own art books. Man, we are making some good stuff. Some of the books that people are making and posting in class, I'm just totally jealous of. They look so good. Can't wait to see you next month. So I'll see you guys later.